Your son is in Iraq right now. He's a contract working for the US government. He's safe, but the interpreter that he worked with while he was in Afghanistan, is he in danger and literally on the run right now?
He is being hunted by the Taliban. I got a email or a voice message from him about 2:40 our time yesterday, and they had gone to his home. He had left the home with his sister, his wife, and his children. There's 6 of them, and they had literally beaten his father almost to death, trying to find out where he is, and his father doesn't know. Did not know where he's at. And he is between the Taliban checkpoint and the airport.
You were telling me that he literally, I thought you told me when we talked on the phone earlier, saved your son's life, or he was a big part of your son making it through Afghanistan. How valuable was he for your son in the US military?
The 2 of them, there were 2 interpreters. One got a visa immediately. He's been in Texas for the last 7 years. As I'll call him, because I'm not going to share the name with him because I don't know what capabilities these people have. I don't know how they found his home and know that he was an interpreter. To me, that's very disturbing. But yes, there was over 150 guys in my son's unit in Musa Kala, Afghanistan, that lost limbs and are permanently scarred. And these 2 men pointed them out and basically saved my son's life.
So you credit him for your son being alive right now.
I credit him for the anybody that came back from there that saved them. We owe him and his family safe passage, and that's just it's horrible. What is going on? I just watched the press conference with the President of the United States, and I had just gotten off the phone 2 minutes before that with a person from the State Department. Not to send him to the gate. He will be turned away because the flights have been delayed for 8 hours. And in doing that with the paperwork that he has, trying to get in there, they would, after hunting him down all night long for the last 2 days, we've been in constant contact. They will kill him.
Wow. So he is a native of Afghanistan, correct? He's from Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yes. Now
so,
I'd like. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He gave his all. He was working for the U.S. government, and now he was promised something, and you're saying the promise is not being fulfilled.
No, and there's no way. The president spoke at basically 1:50 today, and I had just gotten off the phone with my son, who was in contact with a gentleman from the State Department who is at the airport in Afghanistan, and told me not to send him there because they will not let him in, and if they turn him around, they will either beat him to death or kill him.
So the president had said during the news conference that the U.S. government or the Biden administration had agreement with the Taliban to allow safe passage. You're shaking your head. It doesn't sound like that. And many people say, can you really trust the Taliban?
Do you remember the old saying, we don't negotiate with terrorists?
Yes.
And now they're dictating who goes to the airport. Why are we not sending more troops in there to get our citizens and the thousands of Afghani people who helped us?
That was asked of the president during the news conference as to why maybe special forces or something weren't brought in to go outside the airport. And I think that was his answer. So you're saying if you were the commander in chief right now, what would you do? Would you basically bring in, I'm not a big military guy, special forces, or bring them out to just go out and get the Americans and the interpreters? You would put them out in the community.
I would be doing what the French and the British are doing with their paratroopers, and they've flown in and dropped, and they're bringing their citizens to the airport to get them out of there. We're the biggest superpower in the world. Why are we not doing that? You know, I gotta, and if you don't mind, I'd like to thank Senator Debbie Stabeno's office and Congressman John Molnar. We're very fortunate to have the congressman as our congressman. I got an email just before the president spoke, and it was an email to me sent to O's phone. The State Department now needs a disclosure statement so that they can fill out the proper paperwork. The congressman's hands are tied till he receives that from him, but he's forwarded it to me. And I can't commend the two, both, you know, you've got a Republican and a Democrat. They are all fiercely working in Washington to get these people out of there. But you waive your passport and your paperwork. If they turn you away, they're going to kill this kid. I've been up for 2 days trying to figure out how to get him out of there.
Jeez, and you just said it, Democrat, Republican, this isn't politics, this is about human lives.
Well, I don't know. The president, to me, it was completely political, and he's lied to the American people, because I know the chaos from the State Department guy on the ground 2 minutes before he came out and told the American public he lied to your face. And, you know, coming from a family that's all in the military, you know, all the boys were in the military. My dad's buried at Arlington. Thank God he's gone, because this would have killed him to see what is going on.
But you are getting help. I guess my point was you're getting from Democrat and Republican lawmakers. They're trying.
Absolutely. And Congressman Molnar, and I can't thank Debbie Stabeno's staff enough. They've sent all the paperwork to the Iraqi Emergency Crisis Center. But this kid, again, is being hunted, and I don't know how long it's going to take.
What's your son's feelings about all this? I'm assuming similar, but with what you're saying. But
my son is absolutely, my son and every veteran I've talked to is absolutely just so, they're angry. They're angry, they're hurt. They know what they did there. I just can't believe that the Democratic Party can do this. You know what they're going to do to these women and children, and they're negotiating with them. It's sick.
So what can help? Can more public pressure, or what in your mind can help if the president doesn't pull the trigger with what you're saying with doing? What can help? I don't know.
If the pressure, this is why we're having this conversation. We've got to get this out to the news media. There needs to be more and more pressure put on this administration. I get the sense that the ship is sailing through the sea with no one at the helm, and the advice is not taken. I can't believe our military commanders at the Pentagon they go in there in a second and get all our people. You don't leave troops behind. You don't leave an American behind.
You told me you've worked with, or your son has worked with, the Democratic administration, Republican administration, and this is different from any other administration. You've said it's not. This administration you're saying is different, because you were telling me President Obama may have handled this differently. So this is entirely unusual. This isn't a situation that many people are calling bizarre.
It is absolutely mind-boggling. Someone is in a third dimension here. After watching that press conference, I'm speechless.
What did he need to? What does he need to do? What should he have done in that news conference?
Said that we are bringing in more troops. We can bring in 2 or 3 more battalions, bring 2,000 or 3,000 people, and go get these people that saved people like my son, and get the Americans out and get them out. Qatar is loaded. That's where they're offloading. Or he could approve refugee status and move these people to the United States and send them here. Don't let them off our bases. They've got 3 bases prepped here, but he will not give the authority to bring them on American soil. So they're doing it in Qatar.
Um, Well, if I, helping by talking to you, I'm going to put this out there on the internet, social media, on TV. So if it can help, I know that's the least we
Congressman
can.
Molnar's office and Senator Stabenow's office are working, and there's a tremendous amount of veterans. Molnar's office is working with the Mid-Michigan people. Senator Stabenow's office is, of course, statewide, so she's working. She's got a lot bigger load. But Molnar's office is working with all the veterans, and it's not just me. With all the veterans where their interpreters are trapped. They're on the run.
Wow. Is this going to make down the road, like you said, the interpreter, he's an Afghan, he sacrificed his life to, save son and work with the government. Are other countries not going to shy away in the future of helping Americans like that? I mean, is this going to hurt?
I think our credibility as a whole in the nation, he's the president of the United States sat there and said, there's nothing, there's no criticism from any of our allies. He's, I never thought I'd say this about a president, because being in politics and having a military family, he is lost his mind to think that you can negotiate with terrorists to get people to an airport. We could send in troops and go get our people like the British and the French are doing as we speak.